Here in India, a lot of schools are taking advantage of poor families. Back in 1999, a team of researchers made surprise visits to schools around the country. In village after village, they found one type of school that consistently had the worst facilities and the least learning. Most had leaking roofs, and barely any had drinking water. And if you're wondering why anyone would pay for that kind of service, it turns out there's a good reason. They have to. The findings I just described are for public schools.
That is what happens in the government schools. The teachers, from what I have seen from my experiences, that teachers, not all teachers really work and they give education. I have seen teachers sitting and chatting, and I've seen children roaming around in the school rather than being in the classes. So that's the basic difference. There isn't anyone who's going to be held accountable.
I met this lady recently at a social gathering, and I said that, oh, so what's been going on with you? And she said, oh, I managed to get a government job. My life is set. And I said, well, set in what ways? She said, well, I'm never going to be fired. This is a job for life and it pays me well, and I don't even have to go. And I said, how does that work? You don't even have to go. She's managed to find somebody a bit influential in the Department of Education locally, and the guy has asked somebody to fill in her attendance every single day. So she hasn't been to school for the last year and a half since she was posted there.
That's not to say that all public schools in India are dysfunctional. There's one network run by the federal government that's very highly regarded, but spaces are limited, and 3/4 of them are reserved for the children of government officials. But what happens to poor children who can't get into an elite public school or afford an elite private one? That's a question that British education professor James Tooley found himself asking when he came to Hyderabad on a research trip.
So one day I took a auto rickshaw from my hotel in Banjara Hills, a nice part of town, down to the Charminar, where I'd read in my rough guide to India, the slums of the old city lay behind this Arc de Triomphe, if you like, of Hyderabad. And I found something which changed my life. It was one of those wonderful moments where I found a private school, a low-cost private school, in those days charging the equivalent of about $1 per month. I found one, and then a second, and a third, and soon I found this federation of low-cost private schools.